Everyone makes mistake. A mistake is all right. Words spoken by the late, great DMX, right? And that is facts. We all do make mistakes in our life, but sometimes in certain situations, there's no room for error, zero room for mistake. A mistake is flat out, plain out, simply not acceptable. And that's what we're talking about here, as these two Irish dudes living in Florida passed away, deceased. Their family, everyone out there, you know, a lot of us, we've lost family members. Mourning the loss of a loved one is tough, especially if they were young and they passed away by means that aren't even close to natural. As we see, we're talking once again about drugs, fentanyl, the just killer that won't stop but continues to get worse. It just makes no sense on so many levels why the drug cartels, the drug manufacturers, whoever the fuck it is, wants to kill off the clientele. Then there's no repeat business. It makes no mistake on that level. And you know, from the sense of those out in the streets abusing drugs, it really makes no sense, right? But it does, in a way, you know what I mean? It just shows you the insanity of addiction, meaning that individuals know your ass can die. More than likely, that's what we're going to get at. Stay tuned to the end of this video for some bonus content, man, about this fentanyl and the numbers, the fake ish going on. The numbers are way up. Not only is it, like I always tell people who are out here doing drugs, it's time to put them down. It's not like old times where you could experiment throughout life. You will die at some point. It's all toxic, synthetic-ish out here. And I typically say it's going to happen sooner rather than later. The numbers of these fakes are so crazy now. Like, the chances are overwhelmingly, if you buy some ish in the street, you are going to die. So stay tuned at the end for that. But when we're talking about this mistake here, this is absolutely crazy, as Kane Mitchell and Luke Comiskey, 31 and 30 years old, from Dublin, Ireland, were living in Pinellas Park, Florida, just outside of St. Petersburg. And a few months back, they both died, right, from fentanyl. Now, in this situation, the guy that got them the drugs was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. That's James Richard Peoples III. He's confessed to taking them to get the drugs, but, you know, said he didn't provide it himself, and he's trying to say he didn't know nothing about no fentanyl. And what's wild, too, about this situation is in the text messages that were uncovered, the key word, the code word when it comes to the drugs that's being talked about is powder, which typically means cocaine. And that's what it seems like these dudes were buying. And it always kind of blows my mind when it's not an opiate or heroin that someone was trying to get, that they were trying to get powder or cocaine or something like that, and they end up with Fenty. You know, like, the Fenty is poison. It's going to kill you regardless, like we keep saying, but it makes sense for one to use it in a fake opiate pressed pill or some knockoff heroin, right? But coke, it's just a total different kind of high, total different kind of drug. But there's more to show people out here messing around in the streets. Stop taking that chance, because it's ending up in the cocaine as well. But they lived together, worked together, apparently partied together, these two Irish cats, and they, you know, passed away, overdosed off the Fenty. They were sent back home. One was buried, one was cremated. Well, the family started noticing discrepancies and stuff like that between the autopsy and whatnot, and it was discovered that when they were initially found dead, the authorities, the medical examiners and whatnot, had it right, that this one is Mitchell, this one's Comiskey. But when they ended up getting toe tagged, that's after careful examination of the situation, after this horrible mistake has been made, they realized that's when the problem happened. That's when the mistake was made, where Comiskey's toe tag ended up on Mitchell and Mitchell's ended up on Comiskey, and one of them was set to be cremated. Well, he's buried in the other one's plot. The other one cremated. So this is just so horrible for the family, who already lost their loved ones at a young age, in their early 30s, from drugs, when they were away from home, you know, in the US of A. They come home in body bags, but now the family, their eternal wishes have been disrespected. The one guy that was set to be buried in the family plot, he's cremated, you know, and the other guy, vice versa. And that's just so terrible, because when it comes to, you know, your eternal wishes, that's everything. Like, there's no fixing this. This is a big deal on a spiritual level. It could be a religious level, just many levels. And on top of it all, just the ultimate disrespect that happened here. And that's what I'm saying. In life, mistakes happen. If you make a mistake, own up to it. It is what it is. It's all good. Learn from that mistake. But in certain important situations, you just have no margin for error. And that's what this is here. And what I fully don't understand about this is, you would think when the two individuals were sent to Ireland, right, they would, family would have to come ID them. Just like we know oftentimes when people are deceased, even if it's known 100% from distinguishing marks and other stuff like that, like the authorities can 100% know this deceased person I have here is John Doe number 28, right? But it's still by the book. The family has to come down and ID them. So how in the fluck, when they were, again, found, identified properly initially, but then, you know, when the tags got put on, it got switched up, right? The toe tags. How, when they got sent back to Ireland, did the family not identify them there? Because then they would have said, wait, well, no, this isn't my son. This is my son. You got their names wrong. But one way or another, I just don't understand how it happened. That didn't happen, and the families didn't even know until it was too late. 3 months later. Can you believe it? And the medical examiners, they're saying, oh, listen, no question, all costs of anything involved with their services, with them being deceased, that they're your guys' eternal wishes, we're footing the whole bill. It's too late, right? It does, like, there's nothing that can be done. The mistakes have been made, and money doesn't really do anything. I mean, no question they should pay for it, but they also probably gonna face a hefty lawsuit, and who knows how much money, you know, will be acquired through that. As anyone who's been through a lawsuit before, when malpractice or something flucked up like that has happened, it's a long, drawn out process. Are we gonna go to like a straight up trial type hearing, or are we gonna have a settlement? Different legal teams meet, and depositions happen, and, you know, then there's arbitrators. It's a long, 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 drawn out process. That's coming from someone who has a family member who won a pretty good payday in a lawsuit from a medical facility that flucked up and was liable for some bad ish. But this took 2-3 years, you know, and in the end, no amount of money can make this right. This is just bonkers to me. How in the fluck did a mistake like this happen? I just can't quite call it. I can't quite understand. But there you have it, a sad, tragic story. Two friends from Dublin, Ireland, come to the US of A. I'm not really up on what their dreams were, what exactly they were doing, but they were bros. They lived together, they worked together, and again, partied together. And that was the death of them. And then medical examiners of whatnot flucked up and disrespected them and their family eternally. So make sure to comment and share your thoughts on all this, but also stay tuned for updates on this story, as well as, you know, the court process that's about to play out with James Richard Peoples III, once again arrested, charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. And when it comes to this fentanyl stuff, that's what needs to happen in the streets, on a street level, is the people that are supplying this ish need to get case laid with a lot of time. That'll scare people from pushing these drugs on the street. But still, there's the whole other side to it, you know, importing, exporting, shipping, the border situation, the cartels. These drugs are bad. These drugs need to stop. And again, if you're getting high, stop. You will die. Like, don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to your family. We're gonna roll this bonus footage here. These numbers are very alarming, very scary. And if someone out there, you have a loved one that is getting high or something, you know, you got a good rapport to them, reach out to them, show them the bonus content on this video, make them understand It's not like it used to be. And I'm keeping it real with y'all. I had my own drug problems at one point in time, you know, but I got clean right before this stuff started. Well, no, it was already ongoing, but nothing like it is now. There's meds you can get on, like subs and stuff like that, that can help you not have to deal with the withdrawal. You got a whole life ahead of you, man. This ain't no way to live. It's all poison out here. Here's that footage. Subscribe to the channel. What a fucked up situation.
You know, I love talking about him. I talk about him to anybody that'll listen. I loved seeing him on the hockey rink, and I think that was really, really his happy place, you know, where he could just sort of be free. His friends packed up immediately from schools, wherever they were, and came over, and the family started showing up, and I was just in shock. You know, we tried. We were doing CPR, and not a chance. He was long gone. I don't say he overdosed. I say he died from fentanyl poisoning. And truthfully, like, at the end of the day, to me, we're
making our way there now. At the beginning of the opioid epidemic, many of the pills were authentic. The majority of the pills being seized today, at the borders, on the streets, even in schools,
over 99% of what we see are fake. They contain fentanyl.
99%, that's mind-numbing. And look closely at how sophisticated the counterfeiters have become.
And just for an example, these are some of the ones that we will seize that have the same M and the score and the 30 on the other side.
If you look at what is real here and the rainbow fentanyl, they're not even really trying anymore to disguise this. This is clearly fake. But also, if you look at this 800 grams of fentanyl, it turns into 400 to 500,000 potentially lethal pills. Think about that, one bag gets you 400 to 500,000 lethal doses.
It's the message the DEA wants out there. One pill can kill. The days of experimentation are over. And so this sophisticated lab has to keep up, trying to analyze these pills down to their molecular structure, using the equivalent of an MRI machine.
We have seen hundreds and hundreds of unique combinations. So we'll see one with contains fentanyl, one with fentanyl and xylazine, one with fentanyl and caffeine, one with fentanyl and acetaminophen, and you don't know what you're getting.
How hard is it to keep up with how much counterfeit stuff there is out there?
The market is constantly changing. So we are trying to do everything we can from a science base to keep up with that. One pill can kill. Don't take the chance. It's not worth your life.
It's a message Dina wishes Matthew could have heard. So instead, she has made it her mission to be his voice.
as soon as you can start having these conversations with your children at an age where they can really, really comprehend it, I think it just needs to be talked about. It's Russian roulette. You never know what you're going to get.